Hi guys, welcome back to Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the October monthly reading. And in this video we are going to talk about some of the key dates which will be, depicting the transits of the planets into your respective signs and houses. And based on that we are going to analyze as to what sort of an impact you are going to see through the course of this month. So without further ado, let's quickly jump into the key dates that are going to come into play. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, Sun is going to be in the sign of Virgo until October 16th. And from October 17th onwards, it is going to be coming into its sign of debilitation in Libra. Mercury is already in the sign of Libra from October 2nd onwards, and it will move into the sign of Scorpio from October 24th onwards. So it's going to see, a dual shift in this month. Then you have Venus, which is sitting in the sign of Leo until October 8th. And then from October 9th onwards, it will also move into its sign of debilitation in the sign of Virgo. Mars is in Libra until October 26th. And from October 27th onwards, Mars will be moving into its own sign of Scorpio. So that's a great movement which is coming into play for you guys. Then you have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini until October 17th. And then comes the big change where Jupiter moves into its sign of exaltation from October 18th onwards. So you see, Sun is coming into its debilitation, Venus is coming into its debilitation, Mars, on the other hand, is coming to its own sign whilst Jupiter is coming into exaltation. So, pretty important movements as we can see through the course of this month, with Saturn continuing in the sign of Pisces. But it's important to know that in its retrograde motion, it is now going to be moving into the Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra in the sign of Pisces itself. Then you have Rahu in Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Again, both Rahu and Saturn happen to be in the same nakshatra. It is ruled by Jupiter. And this is going to be interesting because Saturn's retrograde movement is bringing it much closer to Rahu at this point in time through the course of this month, whilst Ketu continues in its Purva Falguni Nakshatra, that of Venus itself in the sign of Leo. So Libras, as you guys can see on your screen here, you have in your first house Mercury and Mars placement, Rahu in your fifth, Ketu in conjunction with your Lagna Lord in the 11th, Saturn retrograde in your sixth house, Jupiter in your ninth, he'll be moving to your 10th, biggest movement coming in this month, and then Sun is placed in your 12th house. Now let's get started with your Lagna Lord Venus itself. He was forming a conjunction with Ketu in your 11th house. Now Venus is not only your lung lord, but also your eighth lord. Now, if you're watching it from a Libra moon sign perspective, he's your Rashi lord, so important planet from that perspective. That has gone 11 places away. It denotes good gains, success, wish fulfillment. He is also your eighth lord, 4 places away into the 11th house. So you see, monetarily, it on the face value looks tremendous period. But these gains are only going to materialize, which if you have been watching my videos, when Ketu is in 11th and you are least associated with materialism. Or else, a lot of you guys, Libras, would have seen success not panning out, not coming in the way you would have anticipated or desired for. That is the difficult part of this conjunction of Venus and Ketu coming into the 11th house. It's not a bad axis as well. Rahu coming into the 5th house is a fabulous placement because it gives you this enormity of ideas, creativity. You want to be ambitious and pursuing things. He's giving an aspect to your Lagna. So you are ambitious for that matter. He is in trine with Jupiter as well. Jupiter is in the ninth house. Good placement for Jupiter in the ninth house. With that ambition, it also brings in a certain degree of sanity. And of course, Rahu is giving an aspect to the 11th. Ketu is sitting there and he is saying, I'm going to give you the output when you are not greedy for it, when you are not eyeing for it. Enjoy the journey. So, if you guys, Libras, have been able to find that fine balance in life, then things would have turned out pretty well throughout the course of this conjunction. Or else, the outcome would have been slightly, diminished, tuned for that matter, if things were not panning out in that way. Now, from 8th or 9th of October, Venus will come into the 12th house. It will come to its sign of debilitation, but you have to remember, guys, Venus doesn't get the dosha. It doesn't get any negative fallacy of coming into the 12th house. So there is no negative connotation associated to it, unlike many other planets coming in there. Now, Venus will become conjunct with Sun in your 12th house. I will talk about that conjunction in a bit, but you have to first understand Lagna Lord is going 12th to itself. See, this impact is going to come into picture. Even though you are getting a Viparit Rajuga of your 8th Lord in the 12th house, but being the Lagna Lord in the 12th house, please be prepared of some kind of losses, some kind of turbulence, some kind of challenges coming in Libras. Why do I say that? Because there is a multifold planetary combination that is indicating that. See, your Lord of Gains, Sun, is sitting in the 12th house. Then your Lagna Lord is also coming into the 12th. And your 12th Lord is sitting in your first house itself. Yes, there is a Parivartan Yoga coming into picture. But because it's a Viparit Raj Yoga and then Parivartan Yoga, and that combination is going to indicate that there will be an initial turbulence, there will be an initial loss, and then you will recuperate out of it. So gains can come for you in a foreign land, or loss of gains can happen for you through the course of this period. But you will be able to bounce back only with meticulous strategy, either in terms of connection with foreign people, or when I say foreign, it doesn't mean that you are sitting in Romania and you have to do some dealing with a person in Tokyo. Not necessarily. It's, you are in Romania and you are dealing with somebody, a few hundred miles away, say in Central Europe, in Switzerland, in Germany, in UK, for that matter. The point is, and since Europe is a small place with so many small countries in terms of geolocations, somebody sitting in Serbia might be able to find benefits of dealing with people in Moscow because it's a vast land, but it is still foreign. You understand how this has to be read. So you have to go and deal with people far away from you, from a far away land, and figure out that how you can find solutions. Import export related opportunities are also going to be positive for you, Libras. Now, we were talking about the second week when Venus has moved into your 12th house and it has become conjunct with the 11th Lord in the 12th itself. Now, this is going to be an interesting period because Venus is giving an exalted aspect towards your 6th house. And that means, whilst Venus is in debilitation, you will still have the ability to make some positive spin in your life, and a tremendous positive spin in your life with respect to any loans, financial related matters, health recovery. If you've been dealing with problems related to health, there is going to be a tremendous opportunity for you. Jupiter is also going to get exalted. I'm going to talk about that. Tremendous opportunity for you to see a health recovery. You could see upliftment in terms of you finding a new role within the company that you're working with, or new job opportunities in itself could be coming into picture. Starting from second week of onwards, some trigger will come into picture. And then definitely from the mid half of the month, you are going to see a positive light, and we'll talk more about that. But both of these planets are giving an aspect towards your 6th house, where Saturn is sitting in its deepest retrogression in a retrograde fashion, being your 4th and 5th lord. So definitely you would have seen problems with respect to your spouse, argumentative situations there, difficulties in your business, non-collaboration coming into picture. Finance is not working out for you. You are going to start seeing relief from 8th, 9th of October on that front. Now, Sun is your 11th Lord sitting in your 12th house. This is not a great placement to happen. Sun in the 12th house in itself is a challenging position, but your 11th Lord is coming into this thing, is creating problems. So you will have to figure out to navigate throughout this situation. And now, see, Venus's presence is going to find some respite, but Sun and Saturn are in a Saptak Yoga. Okay. And I have been telling this from September. We had very difficult reading for September with two transits, eclipses coming into picture. Major impact. I was not very motivated about those eclipses too. Many of the people have given their comments that I resonated with what you've highlighted, and I've went through that turbulence as well. So I personally also realized that it was a difficult this bit, but you have to notice here that Saturn is still in its deepest retrogression in the 6th house when Sun is sitting bang opposite. And this is not going to ease out until the middle of the month when Sun is finally going 8th or coming into the Lagna for you folks, into your Libra Rashi itself. Yes, it will be in debilitation, but there are a lot of positive things happening there, which we'll talk. But Coming back to that Saturn's retrogression, guys, you have to understand that this Saturn is going to make you learn, relearn new things, reinvest into areas. Whatever investments you would have done, you would have seen a lot of losses. Your investments could have seen a dip. Your investments in real estate, etc., could have seen a dip. You could have seen problems, litigations with respect to your assets and property. Those kind of things are kind of bothering you. And then presence of multiple planets into the 12th house or 12th lord in the Lagna is also determining actions in those areas. If your natal dasha antardasha is in a good space, you could see that benefit. But if that is also not conducive, you could see a difficult period going in till the mid of October. Okay, second week of onward, you will see a lot of positivity. But once Sun shifts into your Lagna, even though it is coming into sign of debilitation, I consider it a very good movement. Why? Because your 11th lord is now coming into Lagna. Now your desires, goals, objectives, material ambitions are going to materialize. And especially if you are working in collaboration with people far away from you with respect to your international pursuits, import export opportunities, if you are working in isolation, something of that sort, because Venus now will be sitting in the 12th house, and 12th house is natural sign of exaltation, plus he's giving an exalted aspect. So you will realize that all that pain, all that shit that you've been going through, you will start seeing positive shift coming in. Debilitated sun simply means you are going to be humble. See, sun is going to give you confidence, but not arrogance. It's a good thing, Libras, again, which is happening for you. So you are going to act with humility. You are going to act with submission, that because you've come through a lot of pain, you will know that how you have to conduct yourself during this point of time. And that is why I say it's a positive shift coming into picture. 11th Lord into Lagna is also promising fulfillment of goals and objectives. And from there, the sun is giving an exalted aspect towards your 7th house, which means that one, there is a possibility if you are married that there could be some sort of a growth, positive thing coming in for your spouse. If not that, it could result into positive relationship building with your partners, with your business partners as well in your life, or growth coming in your life because of that partnership. So you have to consider that sign in a positive bit element as well. Now we will talk about Mercury, which is your ninth lord, and your 12th lord sitting in the Lagna in conjunction with Mars, who's your seventh and your second lord. So, see this combination where both Mars and Mercury are gaining tremendous directional strength for you. It's a positive shift there. Even if you are in the middle of certain losses, certain obstacles, challenges, problems coming in your life, the good bit is, Libras, you will not let your energy drop. You will not let your confidence drop. You will be communicative about it. You will represent your thought process proactively, but be mindful of how you are representing your thought process, how you are articulating. Your choice of words is going to be crucial, because it could impact your family members, it could impact your business partners, your relationships in general, if you are argumentative by nature. That argumentative streak is what you have to control, or else you will have tremendous thought process. You will be articulating insights which people will be surprised. If you are in a sales role, or if you are in a technology role that needs you to communicate about your technology and its impact, or if you are into multiple people interaction, traveling role of some sorts, excellent combination. It's a Raj Yoga in itself. So don't ever consider Mars and Mercury combination only in a negative light. So that's a very positive bit coming into picture there. Mars sitting from there is giving an exalted aspect towards your fourth house. So it is promising that those expenses that I was alluding to could be for you making some expensive acquisition of sort. So if you are making these expenses for gain of movable, immovable property, buying an asset, buying a house, intellectual IP of some sort that you want to build, filing for some patents, these are all expensive activities. They are all going to be suitable. So diverge your money outflow, your cash outflow into some asset creation of some sorts. Not necessarily that it could work out in the stocks, but still there is a strong possibility that stock planning and acquisition, speculative gains and strategies might also work out for you. Some of you could be interested in. I don't like to talk about gambling and stuff, because I never want to promote anything which I consider temptations. Okay. So that is why, guys, you would have noticed I'm not a guy who publishes shorts, because I feel that it is short attention kind of strategy, very good for my channel growth. But I try to be loyal towards the good of my audience as well. Anyways, I didn't mean to digress, but what I'm trying to say is that there is a possibility of those speculative gains as well. I will not double click on that bit. Now, you have to understand that Mars from here is not only giving an exalted aspect to your fourth house, which is where I talked about these acquisitions, but also your seventh and eighth. So some unexpected gains are possible, but initially I see the turbulence coming in there. Venus Ketu combination, Venus coming to the 12th house. Then in the second part of it, in the last week of it, around 24th of October, Mercury comes into your second house in the sign of Scorpio, and so does Mars. Now, this is again interesting bit because from your internal family matters perspective, internal near and dear one's perspective, please be very careful as to how you are articulating your thought process, because you could be unnecessarily picking up fights. You could also be picking up quarrel, battle with your bosses, seniors, superiors, leaders, clients, gurus, mentors, because that risk is there. Mars is giving an eighth aspect to your sign of Gemini to the ninth house, as well as aspecting your eighth. So suddenly, least when you anticipate it, least when you expect it, you will see that there could be some problems. It could also be possible that people who are singletons, getting into some romantic situations, you guys might as well get into argumentative situations with your romantic partner of some sort, or maybe with your children. So please be watchful, Libras, on that front. Don't reprimand your kids for the sake of letting out your frustration. I mean, they might not deserve it for that matter. But again, it's a good period for speculative strategies. I would still want, because Saturn is retrograded, guys, and he's your Yoga Karaka planet, he would not prefer that. I will recommend you, if you've planned something, you've been strategizing it, you are doing your fundamental research. Like, people come to me in personal consultations about crypto investments as well. And some of the people that have come to me, we've literally shown each other our portfolios and the kind of investments we are making and stuff like that. And I get enthusiastic about that stuff too. But I still give caution, even when in their natal chart I saw good movement. I told them not until 27th of November because of Saturn's placement. So suddenly one chart is coming to my head, and that guy has $1 million in exposed, about $1.4 million in exposed portfolio. So it was a strict warning, not till November end. So I would want you to be cautious there, but to each their own. Remember, when this is happening, Rahu Ketu axis we already discussed. Saturn is giving a retrograded aspect towards your eighth house. That is why I'm warning against that speculation, and also against any kind of temptations that might disrupt things in your partnership, in your marriage. You might want to, get a sneak out of your business partner and do a side investment which you feel that they are not on board, and that could create a confusion, even though you are doing it with the best interest of your business. You see what I'm trying to say? It is not always a third party situation in a marriage. I know when you are my audience, you understand all that bit, but I want you to think ahead and understand that those kind of tendencies of taking unnecessary risk, unnecessary speculation might not gel down well with your life partner, with your business partner, in your relationships. It is, by the way, also going to help you if you are watchful. This Saturn is promising that the loss will be curved, and you can rework towards your efforts in terms of utilizing your knowledge, your creativity towards your gains. They will materialize for you, and especially in the second half of the month, once Sun moves into its sign of debilitation all the way towards November. And then Saturn is also giving that retrograded aspect towards your third house. The good part is that Jupiter's presence, bang opposite towards square to Saturn, is kind of countering that bit. And he's giving this aspect to your fifth house and your Lagna. But the beautiful transit of Jupiter, albeit only for about 45, 47 days, will happen, where for a couple of degrees he will move into its sign of exaltation. But what a beautiful placement for you guys, because Jupiter is getting exalted in the 10th house. He's a Karaka, is a significator for the 10th house as well. So that's a promising thing. And that's where I was saying, guys, all that commotion in the first half of the month is getting sorted out so beautifully in the transit for you guys, Libras, because now the planets are coming into the first, second house positions. Venus is alone in a debilitation. Jupiter is coming out into exaltation. That deepest retrogression of Saturn is also going to start and diminish. And when Jupiter is here in the 10th house, he is now giving an aspect towards your second, fourth, and sixth. So that is a place where sixth lord is getting exalted. This is a beautiful time where your efforts towards finding new job opportunity, overcoming any kind of medical situations, any kind of health difficulties that you guys have been facing, definitely you will see an improvement, Libras. You are going to see a change, that some kind of loans that you are not able to finance, that you are not able to work out. So many people have done consultation recently about their house purchase planning and stuff. I was just consulting with one person. Already in US we saw a rate cut happen, impacting the home loans as well, and a lot of that could shift for you people. It could be a rate shift, or it could be some sort of a shift that makes things affordable for you, or your legal efforts, problems that you are facing, they come to a check, or at least you get a temporary relief, if not permanent, because the exalted Jupiter is keeping that retrograde Saturn and your 6,000 check. So at least for the 45, 47 days duration, you are going to see positivity there. Then he's giving an aspect to your second house as well. Some auspicious event, some kind of a ceremony, some kind of positive activity is promised. And the fear that I had about you being not careful in terms of your choice of words, being argumentative, creating some disruption, Jupiter is giving a promise that he is going to keep that in check. Albeit, the aspect towards the fourth house is debilitated one. But Jupiter's aspect is still a positive and promising one, because when he gives that aspect, it kind of assures some peace of mind, some growth of assets. Whatever investments you are doing, they might not be to your fullest satisfaction, but you will still feel comfortable about using them. So there is going to be a lot of positivity in terms of your emotional strength in the second half of the month. So Libras, I know there was a turbulent feedback that we had for the last month, but in the month of October, I sense a lot of positivity. I've done all these readings with a lot of positivity as well. And I hope that you can see through that the effort that has come out. If you have, then I request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.